Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is November 18th of 2022. Been a lot of military aircraft early today. That, of course, there's a reserve air base about 5 miles from here. As a crow flies. I believe that I'm using my B-Link, the one that's been broken since I got it. At least the audio part has been messed up since I got it. And I got it working, by, I don't know how. One, I bought a sound blaster. Where is it? I can't get to it right now, but it's not hooked up. I bought a sound blaster card that worked for a while. Then at some point, fairly recently, if you've been watching my videos, the audio just went to hell. And I couldn't get anything, to fix it. And so I just basically gave up on it. And I tried OBS. I've tried all of them, and I tried OBS, with the sound problem in the past, and no relief or anything. Then this morning, I checked on OBS again. I saw there was an update, which usually there is, from the amount of time that so I installed the update, and then I messed with the settings on OBS, and it appears, I only checked it a couple times, it appears that the audio is working. The problem with the audio has been, since I got the B-Link mini computer, and the company right away, as soon as I got it, there was an announcement put out that, the audio did not work. I kept the unit, and because I like it, I wanted to, mess with it, and I kept it, and I've used it for, I don't know how many, well, let's see, we can find out here by going to Amazon. Going to orders and go to B-Link. Okay, I got it in April of 2021. So, and I upgraded it, by the way. I can't remember the upgrade that I made of it. I think I might be up to 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. Can't remember what upgrades I made. I've never used the fingerprint function on it. Anyway, I think the sound is working right now. And I guess this is going to be a test. So things are kind of weird right now. the screen that should be display number 1, well, the screen you're seeing, I can't get it to work. I can't get it to be proper. I mean, it's working, but screen number 1 shows, you know, but that's not actually screen number 1. It's screen number 2, and I don't know what's going on. Let me minimize this, by the way, here, and drag over the OBS so you can see, because some of you may be be OBS experts, and you may see something that I don't like, having stabbing pains in my neck. Too close to the aorta artery. Also, I don't know what's going on with, I'll mention it. Maybe some of you know, have an idea. I take quite a few, you know, medications for my total heart block and prostate problems and so forth and so on. Let me go back way further. Let me go further back. I was using CVS pharmacy many years ago. Everything was okay, and then one time when I got a prescription filled, they were right down the street from here. Got the prescription filled, and 90-day supply, and twice a day, so that's 180. And I thought, that doesn't look like, you know, so I counted out. I had to count them out, you know. Yes, I can't count as high as 180. It was stressful for me, but I did it. It was missing, I forget how many. Quite a few. So I went down to the pharmacy, and they, you know, they took care of it right away. Gave me the rest of the meds. And I don't know how many, a month, I mean, well, the 90-day supply, so. It wasn't, I think the next one was okay. And then I think it was the next one, the same thing happened, shorted. Now, you know, the medication that was shorted, I mean, it wasn't a narcotic, or it wasn't anything, you know, that, I forget what it was. So I looked on the prescription vial, and you know, it was the same pharmacist who refilled the other one that was short. So I, you know, went ahead and got that corrected and got that. But I changed pharmacies right across the street. In fact, you know, a street closer, not a whole block. I mean, just, you know, CVS was on one side of the street. On this side of the street was the Walgreens, and switched my medications, no, you know, my prescriptions, everything, no problem. You know, back when I said the 90-day supply when at CVS, they may not have been doing the pharmacies a 90-day supply. So maybe it was a 30-day supply. But anyway, so I, you know, changed, and there was no problem at all. Just, you know, switched over okay. And so I've been using Walgreens, and for my medications, my health has gotten worse. We don't have a car. It's only 2 blocks, you know, Walgreens is only 2 blocks from here. I'm not sure I can make it 2 blocks walking. But the next thing I noticed was Walgreens seemed to be, it was, always a little bit of a problem. It seems like something with getting the thing, the prescriptions. So, Amazon went into the prescription business, and the pharmacies, here in the United States, tried to stop them. And that didn't work. They weren't able to stop them. I think they were bringing up legal matters for some reason. I don't know what the things were, but that didn't work. So I contacted Amazon, and I said, here's my prescription service that my insurance pays for and everything. And I said, oh yeah, yes, we take care, we'll fill it on. I said, okay. So I went ahead and made the switch. And right away, 2 or 3 of my medicines, Amazon said, that no, your insurance company will not pay, them to do it. So I had to switch back to Walgreens. And after that, I don't think that had anything to do with anything. After that, I was getting my prescriptions filled, and then the pharmacy, had arrangements that you could have it delivered for a small fee, to your door, since we don't have a car, and since I'm, my ex-wife's in a wheelchair, and 2 blocks, I'm not sure I could make it there and back. So then everything was okay. Well, then what I heard on the news, and what was that, remember I told you from CBS, switching to CBS to Walgreens, taken care of, when that happened, it was taken care of, no problem. No delay, no mess up. And then the Walgreens pharmacy, things were changing, and all of a sudden, I don't have one here. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. But I, using Amazon did not work for my prescriptions, so I'm back using Walgreens. And the Walgreens website has always been kind of flaky when it came to, so far as the part of pharmacy. In the beginning it worked. I could click on refill automatically, and they refilled automatically, and then other things like that. It worked. But then for some reason I'd click on, automatically fill my prescriptions, and, deliver to me, where I was paying, a small amount. And then I would not get it automatically refilled. I'd go and look at the website, and the things that I had checked, were unchecked, and I didn't uncheck them, to automatically refill. Went on with this type of thing for a while, and then Walgreens changed their, Walgreens, what was it? Well, I was having some difficulties. And then, plus getting these calls, and it was not the pharmacy calling. I mean, it was not, right down the street from me. It was like a center someplace. I don't know if it was in, Pakistan or India or where it was. It might have been in the United States. But, I would go in and I'd have to check my things. They were supposed to be automatically checked, but I'd go and had been unchecked. So I'd go in and check them. And then I get a call, and the person calling is, not down the street. And it was just like, it was like, hey, I checked all this on your website, So then, all of a sudden, getting my prescriptions was no longer like 3 days. Now, of course, I could go down to the pharmacy, and get it. Or I could have them delivered, and it took like, 3 days or whatever. It became 5 days, 6 days, 7 days before it would be delivered to my, my door. And when it was delivered, no longer was it, whoever they were using to make deliveries before, whether it was, I have 2 prescriptions that have, I've been trying to get filled. They're, empty. They've been empty for like 2 weeks. Okay, maybe not 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks. Been out for 2 weeks. But when the prescriptions, let's see, when the prescriptions, let me switch back here to when the prescription was then getting filled, no longer does it come in a vial that says Walgreens and all this type. It comes like it with a generic label, the type of label I would expect from Amazon pharmacy. And I think what's happening, and that's what I'm wondering about. If you work at Walgreens or maybe CVS or something, because these pharmaceutical places. Oh yeah, that was okay. The next thing, like I told you, how easy it was just to switch from CVS pharmacy to Walgreens. Oh, super easy, no problem, everything taken care of. But then I think it was, I may be wrong on this, I think that if I can remember correctly, Amazon pharmacy filed some type of legal action or something against a whole bunch of pharmacies nationwide because they weren't doing the switch all the time. Maybe sometimes they did, but they weren't handling these, they were deliberately, messing it up in order to screw with Amazon. And I'm sure a bunch of people had their prescription things, what's going on, so well, Amazon isn't any good for the pharmacies I want, Of course, I wasn't using, then Amazon. I only used them for a short time, a week or two or something. Then I saw that, it wasn't working for me. But what I think, and this is just a guess, what I think has happened is Walgreens, CVS pharmacy, and other pharmacies, I think when Amazon entered it, the pharmaceutical, business, I think they said, okay, Amazon, we couldn't stop you, but fuck you. We're going to show you, And I think what they have done, and I'm asking you if you happen to know anything about it, if you happen to work at a Walgreens or CVS or any other pharmacy, I think what they've done is, and I wouldn't know the exact details how that would work, but I think what they've done is, okay, we will have, our medicines, I'm doing business with Walgreens. Okay, we'll use the pharmacy of them. I'm talking about them. They'll use the pharmacy of Amazon and have medicines, shipped to the customer. And that will save, now, these pharmacies are going to still have to have a pharmacist on duty, but it's going to cut down a lot of the traffic to their place. Maybe they can have one less, pharmacist. Maybe they can have a couple fewer, pharmacy technicians or whatever. They have something like that. I think that's what's going on. That explains getting my prescriptions, delivered to my door, but now it's taking longer. In the beginning, So anyway, if you happen to know anything about that, I'd, how about posting a little bit here, or some links or something if you know something about it. One, I'd be interested in. I think two, a lot of other people. There's a lot of people taking medications, and there's a lot of older people taking medications, and I'd like to know what's going on. So I guess I've given this audio a good test here. So we'll see if this is fixed. Now, I was going to, in about a week, order one of these refurbished, PCs for a couple $100. Looked like actually a good deal. But I've got a Windows 11 system here, but with a problem. Now, the audio problem does not affect, has never affected me, listening to any audio. It just affected me trying to record, video with audio, and, with audio that I created. I've got a Chrome box over here, and so I don't know. Even if this works, even if this now audio is working, okay, I don't think I would trust it. I think every time I made a video, I would expect it to break on me. So I still think I may, get the refurbished Dell, computers. What they do apparently is they buy them, like companies, businesses, all that kind of stuff that have, they may have, 10 computers, they may have 100 computers, they may have 1,000 computers, working in their building or something. Like I worked at a hospital, and the hospital would, replace all their computers, and they'd all be taken down, to the basement or whatever, and locked up, and then they would sell them to different people. You could come in and buy them in bulk, Buy them all, I think, was the way the one hospital I remember, I think, but you would have to buy them all. But what people are doing, like Amazon, well, Amazon I don't think is doing it, but there's people working through Amazon. But Amazon makes, some rules, okay? These refurbished PC computers, you have to buy, X number of them. And then you have to check them, and you have to refurbish them, and, do some stuff. And so when you then sell them through Amazon, you know, Amazon is going to be standing behind these for 90 days. You can return for any reason and all this type of stuff. And people, I've read the reviews, for the most part, the people are having excellent, you know, getting an excellent computer at a very, you know, low price. And works, you know, works good. Now, when you're reading those Amazon reviews, you're always going to run across somebody, and I've seen those in the past. Somebody got one of these refurbished computers, and it wasn't refurbished at all. Nothing, you know, they didn't blow the dust out of it. They didn't do, you know, somebody at some place, whoever's doing these things, I don't think deliberately did that. I think, you know, they might have had one side of whatever area they're working in, their basement or whatever, with, you know, these computers as they bought them from got them from the company, and then they worked on them, and then they moved them to the other side, and then they sent them out. And I think some people probably got one that somehow somebody that came in there and moved, you know, something like that. So I don't think it was deliberate, unless one of these people, you know, is doing this kind of work, and maybe gets down, they have, you know, maybe they had 100 they worked on, or 200 or 500 or something, and then maybe they got down to something's going on in their life, you know, and they get down, they have, you know, 5 of them left or something, and they just want out, and then they just, you know, blow the dust off or something and ship them out. And so a few people got something like that. But anyway, so as of right now, I'm not sure what I'll do. I guess it's one thing, it's going to depend on what happens this time. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.